In the two portions of Vayakhel and Pekudei, we read a detailed summary of the accomplishments of the Jewish nation in actually building the home that God had requested. Not only do we read about the actual work done by Bezalel and the highly skilled craftsmen who were filled with heavenly spirit, the Torah also describes the tremendous generosity of the Jewish people. With meticulous attention to repeating every donation, the materials bought, and the total amounts of each item, the Torah triumphantly declares the success of the campaign and the generosity of the Jews by declaring that the contributions had been enough for all the work to do it, and there was extra, which leaves us wondering. The repetition of there was enough for all the work and there was extra seemed quite contradictory. After all, if there was enough, there was not extra. And if there was extra, it should not be called enough. Rabbis therefore explain that there are two types of giving. You see, some people give and then they go home. The impact of the donation is felt only as far as this particular donation goes. But after the money is spent, after the food is finished, or the clothing is too worn to still keep, the gift has come to an end. Of course, the impact of their kindness lives on, but the actual gift has been used, and their charity now only remains as part of the good deeds of their life. But there is another type of giving. Its act may have more impact than money could buy. Its sincerity, its authenticity, and its enthusiasm create a wave of goodwill with it. It's this type of genuine and selfless giving that becomes the anchor for others to emulate. The gift itself may consist a limited sum, but the love and sincerity it contains is worth so much more. Sometimes the charity may not even have such monetary value, yet the phone call or the favor you did for another so deeply inspires, that enthuses and stimulates others to do as well. And it was this second type of giving that the Torah is describing when it says it was enough and more. Monetarily, the Jews had given enough, but the impact of the first building campaign of the Jewish history and the legacy of generosity they began was the beginning of a movement, of a culture of charity, and of a nation that's always caring for others. It's our generosity and giving nature that has defined the Jewish people for the rest of time. And my friends, today I feel we once again need to give more than enough. Because the horrific events of the act of the 7th of October brought us all together. The catastrophe quickly turned into ground roots desire to come together, to hug, to cry, to memorialize, to help, to support, and aid in any way we could. Not only did these traumatic experiences not tear us apart, it brought our communities together and each of us a little closer. And yet, as time moves on, recently it seems that we are forgetting the importance of extending out our hand to a brother or sister, even if they think differently to me. Thousands of years ago, the Jews gave a lot of money to build a home for Hashem. But they didn't just give enough. They gave more than enough. They gave their hearts and souls to a project they were devoted to building a collective home for their nation, a place where they could gather together as one. We too need to give. Not only what's needed for the soldiers, for the wounded, and for the hostages and their families, but to also offer our own depth and love, the human touch point and connection that makes our community whole and our nation strong. Today we need to give more than enough. Wishing you Shabbat Shalom.